All right, welcome back, guys. Today I want to look at this Mezco Agent Gomez 1975. This was just released for the 2025 San Diego Comic Con. I don't know if they would call that an exclusive or not, but that's what it was unveiled for. So I got mine in hand today. Super excited. This is only my second Gomez. I have the Hazard Squad Gomez from an exclusive before, but this is my first one direct from Mezco, so I'm pretty excited. Let's open it up. All right, so first I thought I'd mention they do include like this full-size comic book with it. I guess I didn't even realize that, but flipping through here, it's pretty cool. Decent artwork. It's actually decent length book. It's not just like 1 or 2 pages. So I'm kind of excited to read through that later and see what I can find out. A little closer detailing on the box here. I really appreciate their artwork on the boxes so far from what I've seen, and this is just to me so cool. Beautiful shot there. All right, to pop this open, some really cool art in there. See Gomez right at the back. Let's pop all these trays out for a second. A lot of trays. And our normal papers. Check that out. Agent Gomez, Big Trouble in Rumble City. So cool. I kind of wish that was like a pull-out backdrop we could use or something. We had that normal sheet from Mezco that's included in all of them, and then there's also this one about changing his glasses, that putting on the holster, the hoverboard, how to work that boombox with kind of some hidden storage and stuff in there. Pretty neat. Kind of going back to front through the 3 trays, we have our last tray that has like the stand, looks like some cool fire effects, weapon effects. We got a pigeon down here. Got our second tray that has some like little gas canisters, something like that. I don't know if those are like large grenades or what they are. Got the boo box and nunchucks, sword, knife. Got a big like sniper rifle type thing, revolver, like a M16. I think that's his watch. We got the super cool hoverboard. And then in our first tray, kind of hard to see there. We'll look at him closer in a sec. All right, we got Gomez with his shades, his hands, and his couple alternate heads there. All right, I want to take a closer look at the different head sculpts and hands that come with him. There's kind of a lot, so I'll try to go through this kind of quick. This is the head sculpt that comes on him. It's just a plain Gomez head. I think we've probably seen this exact head sculpt before. He has 2 closed-fisted hands on him in the box. We get these super cool sunglasses that I tested out on the other heads, and they fit as well. So it's a cool look. Glad to have them. There's one of the 2 like afro head sculpts. You can kind of see those little detail in the lenses there in his eyes. It's pretty cool. And this head sculpt is the last head sculpt. I think this one's my favorite. A little bit more squinted eyes, you know, like a little grimace on his face. Pretty cool. I like this one a lot. We got a pair of these open hands, completely open or gesturing hands there. On his left hand here, we have like a larger gripping hand. I think that's for like these golden canister things we'll see later. I'm not quite sure what they are. And then his left hand there kind of looks like a palm striking hand, like a little bit of a, I don't know, kung fu type hand, you know, like waka, waka. So we have the left and right trigger finger hands, so we can hold the gun and shoot with either hand. We've got a left and a right index pointing finger hand. Get some cool poses out of that. Adds a little bit of life to these guys. We've got another right hand trigger finger hand. I'm not sure if that's a little bit bigger grip, maybe for one of the other weapons. And this left hand here is like a kind of an open grasping hand. It's kind of cupped that way. Not sure if it's really meant for gripping anything or just like a generic, you know, looking to grab onto something. All right, and this left hand here, we got that kind of middle finger hand there. This other hand on his right arm is actually still a left hand. This pair of hands isn't really paired left and right. So that one has got like the two finger point kind of thing going on. We've got some open bladed hands, good for a little karate chop, or maybe if he's got to slap somebody, get him in line. And lastly, kind of a regular generic set of gripping hands there, kind of to hold any normal accessories. All right, and now that we've finished kind of his heads and hands, I want to walk through articulation real quick just before I start getting the coat off. So we can get a pretty good down look on him. A really good up look on him. We can get a tilt side to side, about like so. And then, of course, he can turn all the way around if we really want. In that coat, we can still get a good T-pose. We can get his elbows about like this, about 90 degrees. It starts feeling like it's binding up on the coat, but we'll see once we get that removed. I can feel that diaphragm joint in there, so let's see what kind of crunch we can get on him. Feels like a pretty good crunch forward. Pretty good look back. A little bit of that is in the hips, but a lot of that's in the diaphragm there. And we can get kind of leaning that far that way, that far that way. Coat doesn't inhibit that too much. And in the splits, we can get to about there. It feels kind of like it's getting really tight in the pants, so I don't want to push it past that. The legs, we have a good double jointed knee. We can go basically heel to butt. And the foot, we get good rock up. Not so much of a rock down. Not really a rocker back and forth, but it does turn. Just undoing that little belt buckle there, we can see that his coat will open up. There is a wire on both sides of this, so you can kind of get it a little action posy if you're going to have him with that coat on but open. All right, and here we have him without that trench coat or jacket there. Well, let's see that T-pose. We can get a little higher. The L arm, let's see where we can get with that elbow. Elbow's definitely improved without the jacket. And then let's look at that diaphragm bend. Feels about the same. Maybe a little bit better crunch there than we got before. And then just slightly better in the side-to-side in that diaphragm. All right, now onto the accessories. I'll try to go quick through this too because there's a ton of them. First is this super cool gold watch. There's actually a couple plug-in effects for that. And we have his shoulder holster here that'll hold that revolver. Comes out pretty easy. And there we have the revolver. Both sides of that painted really nice. That shoulder holster just has a little loop of elastic to go around the other arm. And it also does fit on while he has that coat on. All right, we get this M16 with an adjustable strap or a sling. And it has a detachable magazine. Actually comes with two of these. Comes with one in the gun and one separately in the clamshell. We also get this sniper-style rifle with a suppressor on it, scope, bipod. The bipod moves, although this attachment point feels pretty flimsy. It's basically just dry brushed. There's black on the stock, black on the suppressor. But other than that, it's kind of just one color, dry brushed. Maybe fell a little short there, but pretty cool nonetheless. This also has a detachable magazine. And the bullet is, or the cartridge there is painted, and it does come with two of these magazines, just like the M16 did. We get a super cool pair of nunchuck there on a little string. It is a wire, so it does bend and will kind of hold that shape a little bit. I don't know if it'll hold the weight. Let's see. Yeah, it'll hold the weight of the other end out there in space, so he can be swinging this over his head and have that other end kind of floating. We get two of these grenades. I mentioned that we had one hand earlier that was a little bit bigger gripping hand, and that does fit around this. We have like a little K-bar or battle style, combat knife that's included. This one is well painted, looks really nice. We have this sword with a adjustable strap to go around his torso. I think that's painted really well, and the sword comes out, and we have a really cool looking sword there. We've got one of these hoverboards with such a cool graphic on the top. Bottom side painted really well. And this is magnetic, so we can just drop it on him. And there we go. Holds pretty good. All right, and last thing in the second tray, we have this boombox. The handle does go up and down. It does open up and comes with this little pea shooter, which there's a blast effect for, and a little martini glass with some foam in there to protect it. The cassette deck also opens up. The cassette is removable. We got side A here. And side B. All right, now to the third tray, the final tray, which is mostly like the blast effects and stuff, but we do have this super cool, unique base for him, and this stand that can go in there. We have this pigeon, this golden black motif one, super cool. Glad to add that to my growing collection of Mezco pigeons, I guess now. We have this like gas attack effect or something coming out of that watch. Pretty cool, neat little effect piece. We got one more for the watch. I don't know if that's supposed to be like a little laser or something like that, but kind of a cool purple look to it. We got the first bullet blast effect here, a little bullet at the end of it. Goes in that revolver. I would say as a word of caution, this was a very tight fit for me, and feels like it could be easy to break off the little peg that's on the back of that blast effect, so I would suggest being careful. We got a cool blast effect I think that we've seen before from Mezco, but this is my first one of it. Kind of like just shooting a full auto burst, kind of gun rising and everything. Really cool effect. We have this blast effect here, and this blast effect here. I'll take a second to note that I thought that these could go in the sniper rifle as well, but when I was trying it out, there's not actually a hole at the front of that, and it doesn't feel like this suppressor comes off. So I don't think that you can put one in this gun. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah. All right, so some final thoughts here while we take a few different looks at some poses I got with him. At a pass-fail kind of thing, this is a definite pass. I like this guy a lot. When I saw the aesthetics of him, I was really digging it. The Rumble Society in general is really cool. I like that line a lot. I think that's really all I care about from Mezco. All the other stuff they make just hasn't grabbed me yet. I have a couple of their other figures outside of Rumble Society, but Rumble Society seems to be the stuff I like the most from them. And this figure's no different. I really like the construction quality. All the joints feel really good. They feel tight but smooth. They hold their position. Nothing's loose on them. The hands are really easy to change. The head sculpts are easy to change. And even dealing with some of the fiddly stuff like the soft goods, like the coat buckle and all that, is not too bad at all compared to other figures in this scale with soft goods I've had to deal with. This particular figure comes with a ton of accessories. If I'm counting it right, we have 9 sets of hands. We have 3 unique head sculpts. We got sunglasses, we got watches, we got pigeon, we got 3 different firearms. We have blast effects, we have a knife, a sword, a hoverboard, a boombox, an alien blaster, a martini glass. Oh yeah, a couple of big grenades, and some nunchucks. I mean, after playing with him and posing him and all this stuff, I really don't have any clear cons that come to mind, other than a couple small ones maybe. One is that the ankle rockers, kind of that side-to-side rock, as I've seen in other videos I've done for Mezco. If you have Mezco stuff, you're probably familiar with it. There's just not a lot of articulation in the feet, in the ankles. And it kind of is a little strange to me because the buck itself has so much articulation and so well done, so well executed, but almost all the Mezcos I have, their ankles are almost immobile. I don't really get it still. And the last couple would just be about a couple pieces that came a little warped. Like some of those blast effect pieces, they're kind of bent. The sniper rifle, the barrel was pretty bent, but it's all like a softer plastic that with a little bit of heat, and a little bit of time working it out, can be all fixed. The little pegs on the back of the blast effects, they're so tiny and they feel so fragile, and they're such a tight fit into the guns. I'd be worried about breaking them. You just have to handle them with a lot of care. So I say that as a con, but it's that last part, I guess, is more like a little bit of a warning, I suppose. I guess you can't really call it a direct con. But the ankles, kind of the warped pieces, it's a small con. Like I said, nothing too huge. But all in all, I had a ton of fun playing with this guy and unboxing him and getting all these shots here. Kind of the unique character like this is what I've been liking out of Rumble Society. I don't know if there's some bigger story behind everything, or if they just kind of think of these figures, off the cuff, or what it is. But it seems like all the figures that I've seen so far, there's a lot of really unique looking figures. They don't necessarily even feel like they're from the same universe or anything, and I'm not sure if they're even supposed to be. But I think it's pretty cool to have a little bit more. It feels like these guys have a little bit more artistic freedom in their own line to just kind of do whatever's cool. And I think it's neat. And with Gomez specifically, they just keep Gomez alive and just keep, copy and pasting him into new characters, new outfits. I think that's a fun concept. I don't know that I would go back and buy every Gomez that's been made. That would get pretty pricey. But certainly I'm going to be buying the ones that I like going forward. These are pretty cool. And with that final thought, I think that's kind of the metric that I usually judge these things by, is like, do I think it's cool? Did I enjoy the purchase, or do I regret the purchase, and or would I be inclined to buy something like this from the company again? And yeah, I would buy a figure like this again. I'm open to buying direct from Mezco or the secondary market from Mezco. I mean, there's not much more to say. He's a cool figure. If you guys can get your hands on one, if this is something that you would possibly enjoy, if you're on the fence, I would say pull the trigger, pick them up. If you don't like them, you know that with Mezco, they don't really lose their value too much, at least the Gomez's, so I don't think you're risking a whole lot. But yeah, I would try getting one while you can. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great day.